Hello folks, and welcome back to another edition of the Team TaylorMade podcast. Chris Trott here, your host, as you should all know by now, and I work out on the global tours, servicing the game's greatest players for all their equipment needs, in addition to capturing some killer podcast content with some great people. Today's guest was the 2015 and 16 Mexican Ladies Champion, the 2018 First Team All-American, 2019 NCAA Women's D1 Champion, and is in her rookie season on the LPGA Tour. Maria Fassi, welcome to the pod and welcome to the top deck of the Team TaylorMade trailer.
Well, yeah, it's just very exciting to be here with you and to finally get to see the trailer for the first time. It's pretty cool.
I was going to say, how do you, this view, if we take it in and we set the scene at the Floridian here, being up like this is something else. What's it like to see a tour trailer for the first time, I believe?
Yeah, it's great just seeing how cool it is, and of course you can see it from very far since it sits up pretty high on the second floor here, and it's cool with like the glass so you can see outdoors, and it's just pretty cool also to meet some of the people that work on the trailer and just getting to know more of the Team TaylorMade family.
Tell me about you and golf clubs, because for me as well, like we only met a little earlier, are you much of a club tinkerer? Is it something that you know a lot about? Some players know a ton about it, others are like, help me deal with this, or I don't want to know. How about you?
Yeah, I think I just go off feel. I don't really ever look at numbers. I'll probably peek in and for a few things, but I'm not a golf geek, if you know what I mean. I think I'm just more of, okay, this feels good, this looks good, and if the guys who are fitting me say it's good, then I'll be okay with it. The one thing that I do play around a lot with is my putter. I think I switch putters quite often. I guess I get tired of the look. It doesn't matter if I'm putting well or not. I think putting is probably the only thing that I'm a little more.
So even if you're putting well, you might make a change as well. Just if you
yes, want. Yeah. I get tired of the way a putter looks for some reason, and I'll of course keep the good putters at home and always kind of go back to those. I think I have like 3 or 4 putters that I kind of just rotate, but I think putting is probably the only thing that I'm really like a geek about. Like I really care about the little numbers and of course how it feels and how it looks and how it sits and all those things. But when it comes to my clubs and like wedges, irons, and woods, it's just more of, if I like the ball flight and the guys back there say the numbers are well, then I'll just carry on.
So when you go through just carrying on, are you a player that likes to shape the ball, or are you a player that likes to just see straight? When is there any flag of like, hey, this might not work for me, or this is excellent? I get it, you've got to satisfy the track man and back there, but you're the player at the end of the day. So when do you overrule, or has there ever been a situation where you overrule and say, that doesn't hit the shape I want, I'm not doing it?
Well, I'm scared of the left miss.
Yeah.
So anytime I see something that wants to go left, I'll probably just try to see if we can find something different. I like to hit a little fade, especially with my driver. So I think that's kind of the shape that I try to look for. Even if it's just like a yard or 2 yard fade, but like I like to see the ball kind of dying to the right. So if at any point I'll see something that's trying to go left, that'll definitely be a red flag for me.
But obviously you're a great player and you've got yourself into this environment. As amateur golfers look on this, and obviously I want you to talk from a lady's perspective here, what can they expect to see from the new product? Is there anything that jumped out for you that the guys might not pick up on and you're like, hey, this is pretty cool?
Well, I think I was actually testing out drivers with Bo Hustler earlier today, and just kind of hearing what he has to say. To my eyes, he's more of a golf geek than I am, for sure, and he was talking about the difference in spin and how he liked the ball flight and all these things. And for me, I just like that even when I hit the ball, like my miss was still like the same. It was very consistent, a lot more forgiven, for sure. and I know
than previous products you've used.
Yes, and
did you notice twist face in there? You know, our twist face technology in the face. I mean, that sounds to me like that's what you're talking about.
Yes, absolutely. And even, I mean, I know we had the twist face on M5 and M6, but I think even more so now. It's just very consistent. I picked up like 3 miles club head speed. I was at 106 with my driver, like on a normal basis, and after testing with the new product, I'm at 109.
Wow.
So that's of course,
that's a big deal for tour.
It's pretty good. I mean, and I don't feel like I'm having to swing super hard or anything. And I mean, it's on the range. I'm sure that's number's probably gonna go up when I tee it up at a tournament. You know. So I think that's pretty good, and I love the way it looks. That's big for me. It just sets up very nicely, and it's like a lighter color on the head. It's almost like a kind of like a dark grayish kind of.
Chalk. Looks like those badass Porsche designs. Yes. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool, isn't it?
So for me personally, I think if I set up to a club and I don't like it, it's going to be very rare that I'll stick with it. So for me, that was big, and I'm just very excited to start using it next year.
Do you know, when I go into a pro shop and I obviously look at the products, I'm interested, and I see it, and I look at the ladies' stuff, and they put different colors on them, different shafts, different grips, the club's balance lighter. Is there anything else that you think that these companies should consider that should happen with ladies' equipment, or is it in the right place? Now, you are a different cat because obviously you're a tour player, but what about in general for equipment in the ladies' game?
I mean, I think for the most part, I think your average, like, I don't know, club member, golfer, you know, they'll probably be perfectly fine with what's out there. I mean, I know, for some golfers, you're going to need, I don't know, like a bigger head or lighter shaft or all these things. I think fitting, even for amateur players, it's pretty important because they don't practice as much, and then if they go out and play with the wrong equipment, then it's not going to work out for them. And I know for a fact that nobody likes to play bad when they go. I mean, I don't know, they play 3-4 times a month, and if they go out there and play bad, like, that's not going to be very satisfying. So I think getting a fitting, it's pretty important for those amateur golfers. I mean, if it's just, I don't know, a fitting at a golf store or something, like, it doesn't have to be super specific, but I think it's pretty cool. And I mean, for the ladies, it's I think we, as an amateur golfer, you probably just go with what you have, but I think it's also important to give it a little more attention. Yeah.
Rory's just brought out a junior set, and I don't know if you saw, he played in HSBC, and there's a big push on his junior set out there. What did you do as a kid for golf clubs? Were there just cut down ladies clubs, or was there a junior option available back when you were a few years ago, really, because you're still very young? What did you do before you progressed into adult clubs?
I think my first set was probably a cut down set for sure. I don't think I had a junior set, especially the club that I grew up in. It's a very small course. It's only 9 holes, and I mean, maybe 150 members on a very good year. So we didn't really have that many juniors, so we just play with what we had. So I mean, they were probably very long, even though they were cut down. They were probably not right for me, but that's what I started with. And then I think a couple years later, I probably got like my first good set that was supposed to be fitted
legit
for me. Yes.
When you see these guys walking around the property, Dustin, Rory, what is there anything that you want to ask them? And have you asked them stuff about your golf game or traveling or anything, and learned anything even from just this morning's interactions?
Yeah, I've actually talked quite a bit with Jason and Rory. We were kind of next to each other on a couple of the shoots this morning, and I've just been asking them, like, how many tournaments a year do they usually play, and how do they like, how many weeks in a row will they play, like, if there's a major, and then, like, how will they have it at the beginning of their, like, 3 or 4 week run, or would that be the last tournament they play in? So I'm just trying to see how like they all kind of schedule their year, because I think that's pretty important. I mean, I was kind of just looking over mine for next year, and I was just kind of highlighting the ones that sound cool and that I want to play in, and I added them up, and they were like 28, and I'm like, okay, this is way too much. Like I don't know if I can do that many. And I was talking to them, and I mean, Rory, I think he played like 23 or 24 this year, and he's like, and I'm exhausted. So I think just learning from guys who got like the experience that they have, and just hearing what they have to say and the reasoning behind why they do those things. It's pretty. It's been pretty cool just for me to learn, and I'm definitely not gonna be playing 28 tournaments next year.
What about analytics? Because Rory, I know, plans his schedule based around knowing which golf courses fit the way he plays from his numbers. Do you keep analytics? Do you roughly know or have an idea? Okay, statistically, this place is going to be good for my game.
Yeah, I mean,
does that come into the decision?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know there's a couple places that we went to this year that I know my game's not fit for those. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go back to those courses. I mean, I had a great time, and people were amazing year round, but just the course is not set up for the way I like to play the game. So I think, like that'll with the US, I think that's going to be an easier decision for me to make. Like now I have to go and I have to see the courses, and I have to get those numbers and get the stats and be like, okay, this is not a good place for you, or maybe this is an amazing place for you, even if I didn't play as good this year, or if I didn't like it or whatever. But like, if statistically it's a good place for me, then it'll definitely be something to consider. But I think especially next year and maybe the year after that, it's just going to be like a try and error kind of thing for me, just to really get in the groove of competition on the LPGA and what I want from just every week that I play.
We did a really interesting podcast with Sean Foley in season 1, and Foles was touching on what he felt the differences were between LPGA and PGA, and when he works with an LPGA player, the areas he wants to improve in their game versus the areas he wants to improve in the men's professional game. Do you see that there are areas on the ladies' game already, having spent a limited time on tour, but you need to improve there in order to achieve, I'm sure, your lofty goals? And are they different, you think, from what the men's game is?
Well, I think for a lot of the setups this year, I think the scores were very low.
Yeah.
So you gotta be making putts, and that's always gonna be something that every golfer is working on, just trying to be making more putts and stuff. But I think for me and for what I've seen, I think I need to dial in my approach shots to the greens, because I'm having, I don't know, shots from 80 to 130 yards like all the time. Like I rarely have a mid iron. It's always short irons and wedges that I'm having to hit into the greens. So I think if I can dial those and be very confident and comfortable over those, of course the putting's going to get easier, because I'm going to be hitting it closer and having 10, 12 chances at birdie around. So of course, you're not going to make all of them, but if you make 6, that's a pretty good
number.
Good
on the
number,
board,
yeah. So I think I'm just very. I thought it was going to be a little bit different, honestly. I thought it was going to maybe play a little bit longer and stuff like that, but it actually, courses play a little bit shorter than I thought, so I just got to go back and really dial those in for next year.
That's interesting. So coming out on tour, the whole environment of how the way course setup is different to what you considered. It's interesting. And I assume you're one of the longest players out there, right?
Yeah.
Because you give it a crunch.
I do. I enjoy doing that too. But yeah, I honestly thought it was going to be a little bit longer than what it actually is. Like the U.S. Open and KPMG, I think those were the two that played the longest.
And you played well U.S. Open.
And I played pretty well at both of those. I think that's where I feel most comfortable. But that's not how it's going to be every week, so I got to get to be comfortable with some of the shorter numbers as well.
What about Lorena Ochoa? Must have been an impact on you and a role model do you have a relationship? Are you guys talking? Does she help you out at all?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, she was what I wanted to be like, and just both in and off the golf course. I mean, she's an unbelievable player, and it's just very exciting to be able to call her a friend. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. She's very close to me. My dad actually knows her from before, and I mean, growing up, I was fairly close to her, and now even more so. I talk to her very often, actually, and it's just cool to ask questions and see, like, hey, like, how would you do this, or what do you think about that, or just hearing some stories that she has, and how she went about things, especially her rookie year and the first few years of her career. It's been pretty important for me.
What's the best piece of advice that she's given you?
Well, she says that like, don't look to the side, like, just kind of stay
Just
on
be-
your lane, like, just do what you are doing, like, because there's girls that are gonna be on the range for 8 hours, and if that works for them, then that's fantastic. And then there's gonna be girls who just warm up and go to the course and play 9 holes and then come back the next day and are ready for a tournament, you know. So it's so different for everybody, and she's just like, hey, just keep doing you, like, don't be looking around, like, if maybe you see something that you think it might help you, like, maybe give it a shot, but don't change it all out of nowhere because somebody else is doing it and they're being successful with it.
Yeah, that's good advice. So we got to go there because it's everyone listening to this, mine included, dream. Augusta. Playing Augusta must have been unbelievable, and to play it in a tournament like that must have, like, tripled the experience. Talk to us a bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was so cool. It was my first time at Augusta, so that was pretty special alone. And then, of course, getting to play the weekend before the Masters, and in front of, I mean, like, 35,000 people. I've never seen so many people on a golf course, so that was super exciting as well. And I mean, it was just a dream. I mean, it's really hard to put into words what that round meant, and of course it didn't end up going my way, but I think it was for a reason, and I mean, I had a blast. I think I played as good as I could. I gave it all. I have no regrets, not one thing that I would want to change from that round at Augusta. And it was just so much fun. I mean, to see the support that women's golf got, and I think from there we were getting a lot more coverage, and it's just exciting to see that people care about what we're doing, and hopefully we can keep it going and make it keep growing.
I think it was amazing that Augusta put that on. I think for the ladies' game, it was unbelievable. Your review on Augusta's position with the ladies' game, do you think it really is a needle mover for women's golf?
I mean, honestly, I think it's a needle mover for women's sport. I mean, I think the fact that they opened the doors for us, and they hosted such an amazing event, it just means so much. I mean, it's many people would have never said that was going to happen, you know, and the fact that it did, and I mean, they opened the doors for us. They went all out. I mean, they didn't hold back with anything. They treated us, I mean, as good as you can ask for, and of course, having it the weekend before the Masters, I don't think the course it's gonna be in as good a shape as what we played in. So I think it's big what they did. It's definitely something that's gonna inspire, hopefully, some other people, and we can maybe, like, start a movement with that.
Mexico City to becoming an Arkansas Razorback. I mean, I've been to Mexico City and I've been close to Arkansas, very close. That's a serious transition. It's almost as much as me coming from the Wirral, England to Southern California. How do you wrap your head around that? You obviously, I've heard and read you loved Arkansas, and I believe that experience, from what I'm sure everyone's heard and read, really has impacted you as a person. But how did the girl from the city go to that? How did that happen?
I don't know. There was a couple Mexican girls on the team in Arkansas at the time when I was being recruited, and one of them, I'm very good friends with her brothers. They're a year older than me, and we were all from like the same region. We played golf growing up, both regional tournaments and national tournaments. So I was pretty close with them, and she's like, hey, this is an amazing place, like just come look at it. And then like the coach would also come, Arkansas coach Shauna would come to watch the Mexican Am as well. So she watched me play a couple times, but I was like 14 at the time, didn't really have a lot going for me, to be honest. I mean, I hit it long, but that was probably about it. I mean,
were you using the cut down clubs that were too big for you, or were you in the ladies clubs at this point?
I was in the ladies clubs. They were probably not good enough for me, and I wasn't good enough for them. So let's not blame it on the clubs. I can do that all day, but I'll be real with you guys, and I think it was just a little bit of both. And yeah, I mean, she watched me play, and it just happened to be that there was a junior event. I mean, 30 miles probably from school, from Arkansas, and my mom's like, hey, let's just go. We play the tournament, and then we go visit the school, see what you think. I mean, we're all already there. Let's just... So as we were kind of coming down on the plane, I was sitting by the window, and I was just looking outside, and all you could see were like cows and chicken farms, and I was like, Mom, where are we going? I was like, there is no way I'm gonna come to school here. Like, absolutely no way. There was nothing. I mean, it was just fields, and
completely different to Mexico City.
Yes.
Land there.
And my mom's like, hey, you know what, like, we're already here. If you don't have to come, like, you just go take a look at the school, be polite to the people that are making this happen for us, and then we can just go home. Like, the fact that you come to visit doesn't mean that you have to come here. So it's like, okay. And we were supposed to meet with Coach Shauna and Coach Mike at the Blessings, which is our home course. And we're driving on a 2-lane road with fields to the right, fields to the left, a couple cows. I was like, okay, whatever. And we pulled into the Blessings, and it's just, I mean, it's just so hard to explain. Like, you pull in, and it's this super modern clubhouse, and you can kind of see a little bit of the course, like the 18th hole, and it's just, everything's perfect. People at the gate are like, okay, like, yeah, we're expecting you, like, please pull to the left. And then I see Mike and Shauna, and I kind of meet them for the first time, and they showed me around, and I just fell in love with the place, yes, but more importantly with the people. I mean, they just made me feel like I belonged. We from the course, we then drove to campus, and they showed me around, and then we met some of the people that helped us in academics, and then like our trainers and nutritionists and all those things, and everybody was just so happy to work there. It seemed like just a big family, and everybody just super welcoming, and happy to be showing me around. And the girls on the team, the same thing. I mean, they were all super nice, and they're like, hey, if you have any questions, like, you can always reach out to us. And I don't know, it was just a very nice culture that they had going. And I was like, okay, Mom, like, maybe I'll take all that back and consider coming to Arkansas. And that was the first school I visited. And
left an impression, because obviously then when you went on, it just ends up being where you go, right? So.
Yeah, and it was, Shauna offered me my scholarship right away, and she's like, hey, I know you're super young, like, you're only 14, so I'll give you a year. The scholarship's yours for a year. Go look around, see other places, see what you think. And the only thing that she asked, she said, if you're thinking about going somewhere else, before you commit to them, please give me a call and tell me if there's anything that I can do to change your mind. So I was like, okay, thank you, I appreciate that. And then I went to maybe 6 or 7 other visits, and every single one of them, they offered me, and they're like, okay, you can sign here if you want to come. I was like, okay, like, let me think about it maybe, you know, like, everything was so rushed with some of those other schools. So I think I really valued and respected also that from Shauna, that she's like, hey, and she said it, like, I know we have it good here. I know there's not going to be another place that has it better than us. but she's like, it's not fair for me to just pressure you into deciding. So I think that just she was so humane, and I mean it was nice to, I don't know, get that feel from her. Like she really wanted me, but it wasn't gonna be the end for her. Where with some of the other schools that I went to, it kind of felt that way. So I'm very happy that I ended up in Arkansas. It was definitely an amazing 3.5 years that I was there.
Everyone who goes there seems to speak the same. And obviously John Daly's a big guy, a big character around there. You got any John Daly? Have you met him? Are there any stories? Have you seen him at all around campus there, or?
Yeah, he comes to the football games,
Yeah.
and when he comes, I mean, there's times that he'll go and play like in the morning, and then just go to the games. But I haven't personally met him yet, but I've heard a lot of fun stories from him.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So now we look at TaylorMade, and obviously I think all of us here hope that we can fulfill a little bit of that. Sounds like just a fraction of the role that Arkansas did for you. If we can become your family as a pro, I know we'd absolutely want to do that. But what made your decision to join TaylorMade? I mean, it sounds like you're a deep thinker. You consider so much to go to Arkansas and become a Razorback. What made that decision to trust our company with the tools of your trade, which is important as a pro?
Well, I think one of the main things, the first good set that I got growing up, it was a TaylorMade. It was a nice fitting, and it just happened to be that TaylorMade was the brand that worked with what they saw. So I was comfortable with the product. I've only played 3 brands mainly growing up, so I knew like I wanted to stay around those same brands, because I didn't want to really make a big change for money in my professional career, because I was like, I think I can do better with what I know than just chasing after a good paycheck, you know. So I was like, I'll just, if we're going with a brand, I was like, I want to stay with like this 3 brands that I know I've played and that I'm comfortable with, and I can play most of their stuff. But TaylorMade, like I don't know, it was different. Like I had, I remember when I was a junior, TaylorMade Mexico like kind of helped me out a little bit. So like I had a relationship with them, and they were great. Like they were just very nice people, and again, like just super excited to be doing what they're doing. And I think I really respect and admire that, I guess, because it's a constant in when it comes to making decisions. Like I really like people who like to work and like to do what they're doing, and you can feel that. So for me, when we were talking to a couple companies and just looking at making a decision for clubs, I was like, okay, I think TaylorMade is going to be up there. And I know my agent, he has such a long relationship with TaylorMade, with some of the players that he's had, and he's like, you're not going to find better people out here than TaylorMade. And I know a couple other people that also had TaylorMade in the past or currently, and they're like, yeah, like it's whatever you want, you get there. It's nice, it's quick. It doesn't matter if you're Tiger Woods or if you're just a rookie on the LPGA, they treat you the same. So I think that's pretty cool how it all kind of went down, and I'm just very happy that I ended up going with TaylorMade.
We're very happy you're here, and I know Wade downstairs, our head tech, he'll be over the moon that you use that Tiger Woods line, because he likes to think that he treats everyone the same, and it's super important to us because all you guys you're all going for the same thing. So what can we expect to see from Maria Fassi as we move forward? What do you want to be? What do you want to put onto the tour, and what do you want to stand for in pro golf?
Well, I mean, I'm really hardworking, so you'll see a lot of that. I'm a fierce player. I think I like to go at it. I like to rip, and of course with good equipment like I'm gonna have for next year, it's gonna be great to be able to rip it and just
we like rippers.
be having fun. Yes. But I think for me it's just gonna be like I'll be giving it my all when I'm out there, and I always try to keep a smile on my face, regardless of how golf is going. I think I'm just very lucky to be where I am. So for me, it's just going to be a lot of that, just a smile on my face, playing happy golf, and just trying to help the game grow, especially on the women's side.
That's awesome. So we always wrap these podcasts up with speed-injected questions. Don't be too scared now. You should be fine. So, Torrey Pines or Beth Page?
Torrey Pines.
Would you rather lead the tour in strokes gained off the tee or strokes gained putting?
Off the tee. It's probably the wrong answer,
That's
but it's
good.
okay.
You're a ripper. I like it. The one course you could play every day for the rest of your life?
Augusta National.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Ronaldo.
I know that you're a big soccer fan.
Yes,
so.
big time.
Window or aisle?
Window.
Number of career hole-in-ones?
1.
What would you shoot lefty?
I wouldn't hit the ball. So, a lot.
Favorite TV Netflix show right now?
Schitt's Creek.
Mallet or blade putter?
Mallet.
Beach or the mountains?
Mountains.
And the one shot in your career, which I know is so far, we'll take amateur career as well, since you've ever played golf, you wish you could have a mulligan on?
Oy. That's a hard one.
I know. Do you want me to tell you what some other people answered it with?
Yes.
Matt, it's not for me to answer, so you can answer it the same if you like, but I sat here with some of the best players in the game, and a couple of them said they wouldn't have a mulligan because golf is what it is. And I think that's a cool answer.
That's what makes it hard.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's go back to Augusta. Like, of course, yeah, there's probably a couple shots that I could have hit better, for sure.
But
I wouldn't change it because it would be different. Yeah.
That's cool. I think
so. I think that's a great answer for whoever said it. Thank you.
You're in good company, trust me.
Yes, I think
it's I think it's brilliant. It shows so much for the golf, and I think sitting down here with you, and this is the first time I've really got to talk to you. I'm super excited about the future.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think you're going to fit in great round here, and I'm super excited to watch what goes on. And honestly, I know Wade and I said it before we got rolling. You are welcome on this trailer anytime we are anywhere near where you are. Cruise on. Come and play the PlayStation, hang out with us. We'd love to see you. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Guys, this was Maria Fassi. She can be found on Instagram at MariaFassi1. Of course, it's the number 1. And you can follow myself at Trotty Golf, where I'll be captioning some of the stuff from the PGA Tour, at TaylorMade Golf for the main handle. And we can also be found at SoundCloud, Spotify, all the usual places. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Maria, thanks for swinging by. Awesome to have you. Enjoy the rest of your time here at the shoot.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. This was very cool.